Okay, this is Willie Jones, and I'm president of Women for Progress, and you tuned into another edition of the Working Woman Report. This is a recorded program, so we're not live, but as we broadcast this live today at noon, we want you to still put your comments in. We'll be able to go back and check out those. If you have questions for our guests, we want you to put them there also. Just want to remind you that if you want to get connected to Women for Progress, and the Women for Progress Radio Network, please go to our website at womenforprogressradio.com. It's a list of all of our programming, and also womenforprogress.net if you want to connect to the organization. Women for Progress, the organization, has been around, was formed back over 45, well, actually coming up 2023, we'll be celebrating 45 years of community service and community improvement. This organization was founded by Miss Dorothy Stewart Samuel, one of the most incredible leaders in the state of Mississippi and in our country. And we're so excited to be part of this organization and to continue and be part of its legacy. But we want you to connect with our work. Email us at mail@womenforprogress.net or give us a call at 601-259-6770. I want to start right now sharing with you one of the most incredible events that we have each year is Kwanzaa. We celebrate Kwanzaa once a year, the day after Christmas, December 26th, the first day of Kwanzaa. And again, this year, we'll be partnering with two Mississippi Museum and Miss Pam. We're so glad to be back there again. It's turning out during our programming to be one of the most fantastic years that we've had surrounding Kwanzaa, because we have so much to celebrate. We have so many victories. We have so many success stories. We have, Kwanzaa is all about family. It's about empowering families, empowering individuals. And so we want you to join us. It's free as ever. We want you to bring your families. If you have relatives that's in town for the holidays, this is the event you want to put on your calendar, and bring grandma, bring grandpa. If they're in a wheelchair, just roll them right in. We want babies and carriages. We want entire families going to be there. We're going to have great entertainment. We're going to have a great program. We're going to always have great food to celebrate Kwanzaa in community. So right now you want to put on your calendar December 26th at 6 p.m. at the two Mississippi Museums right here in the city of Jackson. It is open to the public. There's no cost. Doesn't matter where you live. We usually have people from all over this country that come and visit with us at Kwanzaa. We've had people from Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, California, all over that come to celebrate Kwanzaa here in the city of Jackson. So we want to invite you and make sure that you put that on the calendar. Now, I just got to get started right away, because we only have a short time, like I said, hour to talk to this incredible guest that we've been trying to sit down with a conversation, I know, for several months, maybe all year. So we finally have her, and she has brought her incredible fiance with her. And they have a love story together that we want to share with you today, and so much more. So this is, of course, always just a roundtable conversation. It's not an interview. So we're going to be talking about everything. And so we thank you so much for tuning in to the Working Woman Report, which, of course, this program is about highlighting the work of women throughout the state of Mississippi, and now since COVID, beyond the borders of Mississippi. We've been talking to women from all over this country. But this particular guest one time was a Mississippian, and now she's living in West Virginia, and we're going to talk about that and her story. So today I have with me Miss April Lanham and Jason Partington. I hope I got that right. And so, yeah, so great. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
This is early morning on the farm in West Virginia, and it's early morning in Mississippi. But let me first start by sharing just a little bit with our audience of who we're talking with today and why the catalyst for this particular conversation. Before tweets were twittering and becoming a peeping Tom was a profession, Facebook, our speaker knew the ins and outs of digital marketing naturally. Growing up, the hashtag was a pound sign. Being nosy was a no-no, and a good day's hard work never killed anyone. April grew up on a sheep and beef farm in north central West Virginia, Yankee country. So being a Yankee, moving to the South, she has been deemed a damn Yankee now that she has chose to stay. Not sure if it was her upbringing in the suburbs of Pittsburgh or just the lay of the land, but April has embraced her Yankee ingenuity as a superpower. Wherever she is, wherever she goes, not matter what, she is on top of it. April started her digital marketing business back in December of 2016, only after her full-time job of marketing and PR got in the way. Her mind goes 90 miles a minute and quoted word for word from former bosses, hence the birth of 90 Marketing. She didn't stop there. Along with her fiance, they developed the power couple mentality and together continued her memories of her farm upbringing into an award-winning published project, Still Stained, for the Love of the Farm. And that's one of the books that we are talking about today, and a big catalyst for this program. Before we get to talking about the book and this journey that April has done, I have to be full disclosure. April is, oh my gosh, she is an amazing marketer. She is a brander. She is a cheerleader for businesses. And I'm one of those that get to be able to partake of all of her talents. I tell you, I cannot, my business has literally grown, gotten more successful, has empowered more people because her dedication. And also, I have to say, one of the things that I love with working with her and having her be my marketing arm is that she understands my vision of my company and the mission. She understands the heart of it. So she provides that trust, that dedication to excellence that all businesses need to succeed. And specifically, I think she has a tap into women-owned businesses. And I don't know if it's because she's a woman herself and she's a mom herself and she's a mompreneur herself, but she does a wonderful, wonderful job. And I tell women, I tell people all the time, you got to get yourself some of that. If you're looking for that particular engine, that particular addition to take your business to the next level, she is it. And I think for all of us, whether you're building a business or whether you have a seasoned business like myself, you always are looking for those particular folks to bring around to your table to make sure that you are doing what you need to not only be successful, but make sure that your product and services are impactful, they bring quality of services to the community and to the state that you serve. So I'm so happy to bring you all both into this conversation today, April and also Jason. But I want to just start by asking April, share with our audience, what was the catalyst for this amazing career and talent and skill and work that you do around marketing and around digital marketing, around branding, around really empowering people and their messages?
Well, basically started on the farm. You work hard, sun up, sundown, you do it right, you get it done. If you don't, the cows get out. And there's been plenty of mornings the cows get out and you literally just throw on what you have and you just go out in flip-flops and a jacket and you do what needs to be done. And that's just the mentality that I have, just do what needs to be done, do it right, do it quick, because the cows are waiting on you, But and the cowboys. So you just got to do things right. And that's the way that's why I grew up. My grandfather was a business owner and I helped him and I shadowed him and he did everything right, and I call it Yankee ingenuity, but I guess is what it is. You just have to use your resources and do what's right and think outside the box. And that's just how I was ingrained. And then, working a full-time job there in Mississippi for a couple of years, and people were coming to me, asking me for questions, ideas at meetings, giving me calls, texting me. I was like, okay, I don't have time to work. So I got to start helping people. And that's what I did. I just, I started my business by teaching people how to do Facebook. And it's like, I don't want to do it, you do it. So there I go. And then the farm called back to me in 2018. Grandma was dying, so I had to come back home. But my business is still like 99% in Mississippi, and that's fine with me. I have a strong friendship and relationship with many businesses, and I didn't want to cut the ties. So, and then I have a good balance here in West Virginia, but I don't have time to go look for new business. And then I met this feller, and now we're busier than ever.
How has Mississippi impacted your life? I mean, I talk to women all the time who were born and raised and from the soil in Mississippi, and we all share, we seem to have that commonality. There's something special about how Mississippi touches you, whether it's the people, whether it's the environment, whether it's the culture, regarding all the stuff, things. How did that shape not only the work that you do, but your kind of mission and vision and goals, even as you got ready to move back to West Virginia?
It wasn't hard.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has a destiny, and I believe that I belong there. And if you feel like you belong there and you have the positivity, people just come to you. You're like a magnet. And that's what it was. Everything was just perfect.
I felt that.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to visit.
So I was telling him about living in Mississippi, my friends and the people, the culture, everything. The funny thing is, Mississippi is a lot like West Virginia. We're like neck and neck in the bad categories. Here's a funny joke. So West Virginia used to be the fattest state. Okay. And the year I moved to Mississippi, guess who was claimed the fattest state? I think it's because I moved there. It was hilarious. But we're neck and neck in education, everything. It's just everything is the same. It's just you don't have the mountains and the hills. You have bumps, but everything else felt the same. And I told him about it, and the trees are different. But I was telling him about it because he's always wanted to go. So in June, we went down there for his birthday, and I met up with a bunch of friends, and I took him everywhere. And he felt the same. It just felt like he just belonged there. You don't have to I didn't have to push it, but I didn't have to push it. It's just everything just fell into place, and it's just very comfortable. It felt like a homecoming, honestly.
Well, Jason, how did you and April meet? What was this big connection? This West Virginian and combined Mississippian. What was the attraction? How did you all connect?
It was the power of the app. We met on a new app for single parents. It's called Stir. It's a match.com equivalent. And yeah, we met through there, and we started talking after I got through her codes. The way that she would ask questions on there, some were acronyms, some I thought she was talking about Dick Van Dyke. Other times when she was just talking about my beard. Other times it was just it came down to us just getting to know each other at the simplest level, and then it went to us just having conversations like this for 10 hours a day.
Wow.
Video chat day after day. I mean, it was like 20 hours total. I mean, we consider that like 3, 4, 5, 6 dates, just talking.
And also, fortunately, her farm was only 3 minutes away from my job, and I was working 6 a.m. because I worked 10-hour shifts, 4 days, 4 tens, and so I would get out at 4, and I would just come over there, or we can do something.
Go to Kroger.
Kroger.
Yeah, his first test, I gave a first test the first time he came over. My car was in the driveway, or it was in the
I forgot
garage.
about the test. The test too, I had to pass.
I gave him a test. So
What
you
was
have
the
to
test, April?
do what?
What was the test?
Get my car out of the garage.
Mhm.
I was testing his mentality, and I was testing his chivalry, and I was testing, I was raised with my grandmother, and she was very headstrong, and she just passed, and I think all of her headstrongness came into me, and I was just literally, when we met, I was like, this is what I want, this is how it's going to be, and you're going to have to deal with it. And then
we were very straightforward with that. Are we doing this?
We're
I'm like,
doing it.
okay, all right, let's do it. No games.
Wow.
And so far so good.
Yeah, the funny thing is when I signed on that online thing, I was divorced for a while. And I literally said, okay, I'm ready. Grandma's gone. I've taken care of things. I'm ready for myself now. I literally switched my profile on Facebook to single. Boom, 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 boom. All these ads are popped. I was like, okay, I'll try one. Within a matter of, I did it late at night, but next morning,
Wow.
Mr. Handsome over here gave me a heart. So story goes from there.
Well, I can tell Jason it was definitely a love match because April has mentioned your name to me in your work many, many times and your relationship many, many times. And there's always that, I don't know, like a ding, ding, ding bell going off when she talks about you. So I'm excited about you two and what you all have done. But I want to talk about also life on the farm, but I want to transition first to the book, because I think this book I think it's important also to how you all are tying each other together and how you all are working each other's lives and your talents together. And I think that's what makes this particular conversation unique when we talk about relationships and how those relationships empower our lives. And I think that's a lot of what we can glean from this book. But let me just share a little bit about the book too. The authors of Still, the name of the book is Still Staying for the Love of the Farm. And when April sent me the cover for it, it was amazing. And so I have not read the book yet, but I am excited about it and getting to read it. Have successfully published 2 versions of their poetic memoir and were recently selected by Page Publishing in Pennsylvania to continue sharing their stories nationwide. April Lanham and Jason Partington released their poetic photo memoir June of 22, containing memories and photos of growing up on a rural farm. The full color story memoir was converted into a black and white memoir with original sketches and a more affordable price for Page Publishing to print and distribute. Now, Jason and April, what can people and customers that are picking up this book, what can they expect? Explain Still Stained for the Love of the Farm. What does that title mean, and what are the expectations and what we can look for in this particular book?
Okay, so let's start with the cover.
Right.
This is an actual picture of the side of the barn. The
Wow.
farm was built in 1934, 35. And then they started building up around it. The barn's probably about almost 100 years old, and it's been painted a few times, it's been stained a few times, but it's still stained after all these years. And just as that, all the memories of me growing up on the farm are still stained in my head, and my memories and my emotions and how I live day to day. So that's the premise of why we named it Still Stained, because the barn is still stained, it's still standing, everything is still there, even though grandparents are gone, the cows are gone, you know, we have a farmhand, but the sheep are gone, the chickens are gone, the groundhogs are still there. But everything is still there, and it's still impressions, you know, on my heart, my mind, and my daily life. And he was there experiencing the farm himself, and that led him to writing a dedication in the book, the very last poem, Golden Pastures. And it was lovely. I mean, I literally put him on the four-wheeler and we just went around the farm and just looking around, picking up sticks, fixing fence. And I have a little shed that needs fixed, and we did it together. So what else? I mean, if we do that together, we can do everything together, you know?
Right, exactly. And when you talk about the photos that are in the book, is that of the farm and the territories around you? What type of and Jason, did you do the photography for the book?
No, I did a couple shots, are mine in there, but she did a majority of how it looks. What you're looking at, that was her talent. Every idea I had as far as visual, she did. Even the stories were hers. She basically gave me the skeleton and I gave it the meat and the skin,
Yeah,
as far as the poetry is concerned.
I literally had a list. Well, what happened was we first met, this goes back to love story. We first met, he goes, so what do you do? I said, well, this is what I do. He goes, well, I'm gonna get back out there. He's got about 6, 7 books already published on Kindle. He goes, I'm gonna get back out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I said, well, you have to do this, 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 and 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 this, as a branding, marketing manager professional. He goes, so we're sitting around waiting and waiting and waiting. I was on the farm, still cleaning out things after grandma passed, and I found all these pictures, and I was doing things, and things would just start popping in my head. So I came back to his house, and I was like, I wrote a list. There's probably about 20 topics. I was like, pick one. He's like, what's this? It's like, this is how you're getting out there.
She basically each one has its own synopsis, and she gave me the synopsis. I sometimes wrote it down, or she wrote it down for me, and I would write in my format how you see it. I guess that's the science of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything there is, especially Big Blue. Big Blue is all her. I didn't do anything with that.
I would have done it without him, because I had, that truck is as old as me. And,
Tell us about Big Blue, because I want our audience to hear the backstory behind this.
well, Big Blue is a powder blue Dodge Power Wagon, 1978 Power Wagon. And to age myself, I was 1 year old sitting on the truck as a hood ornament. And luckily with a Polaroid, the power of Polaroid, there's a picture of me on the truck. But that truck was a power horse. It was a power wagon. It was there. Grandpa, he had the best heart. He would put the plow on. He would plow the snow for neighbors, friends, the whole road. We pulled people out of the ditch. It was the hay truck. It's what we loaded the hay in. That's what we took the sheep to the market. The cows, we had to use a trailer, a little too big, but this thing lasted. It was a power wagon. And even though in the story we have how it was in the beginning and how it was, I mean, it was like a family member. I know people say, cars are like family, but no, it was a family member. It was part of the farm. It was part of the team. And in the story I have, when it broke down, we all broke down. If something came apart, you had to fix it and keep going. And it got to the point that grandma passed, grandpa passed. It was just sitting there. It was going to take too much money and time. I wanted to literally fix it up and take it to shows, antique car shows, parades. I had too much on my plate. I have a 5-acre farm. Well, 5 acres is mine, but we have 188 farm acres. So 5 acres I was taken care of after she passed. But it's the tribulation of feelings and emotions of losing a family member. I had to give it away, and I gave it to somebody who would appreciate it. It was a sad day. I mean, I cried, but I cleaned her up. And my son was playing it. I got pictures. So I have more memories of it now, presently. But it's an emotional story. It's happy, it's sad, but apparently people felt it too. So we've been talking ever since I wrote it, and he kind of helped me. I was like, hey, how's this? He goes, leave it alone. He said, it's your story, leave it alone. And our inspiration aspiration, I guess, is for that story to get picked up by a musician, an artist, something.
Yeah.
That would be the best thing ever.
Wow. And
saying
already
to-
has a title. Yeah.
Yeah, we were saying to ourselves yesterday, like, what would it take for someone like,
Kenny Rogers,
Kenny
or,
Rogers to sing something like that. But I mean, you mentioned Golden Pastures. Yeah, that was a dedication. It was a personal feel I had for the farm, as well as my affection for April. I wanted to reflect both, as well as the visual, and that was my picture, and she made it look lively.
And I think
But-
some of your poems also would be, as you continue to share this book, people will be reading them at weddings and birthdays and going away ceremonies. I mean, when you think about Golden Pastures, I think when you mentioned that title, and in Golden Pastures, for you is filled with so much joy, and I think probably renewal and new opportunities and those kind of things. And I think even when we have loved ones that have been with us a long time and they're now no longer part of our lives, Golden Pastures, though, just the word of that title really is significant to share with people. So when people say, well, why should I buy this book, and how it would touch my lives, is these types of stories like Golden Pastures, about Big Blue, about all those things that brings that nostalgia to us with our own memories in our lives. I can remember when I was growing up and my grandmother bought a GMC truck for my brother, who after my brother grew up and went on about his life, she kept that truck, but she couldn't drive. She couldn't drive. It was the first vehicle that she was so proud of buying, that vehicle, not only for him, but just the idea, my grandmother was 107 when she passed. So
Oh, wow.
buying a vehicle in her lifetime, that was a big deal. And to
Mhm.
be able to buy a vehicle out cash, And so it meant a lot for us. We kept that truck. Not only, she never let us sold it. I remember her saying to me, she said, I know when I pass away, your mom is going to sell this truck. And so we kept it a very, very long time before we my mother did selling it to another relative. And but I still have pictures, and I'm gonna share. Matter of fact, I'm gonna
Still in
send
the
you
family.
picture. I'm gonna send you the picture of that GMC truck, which
Mhm.
she is, my grandmother is standing in front of, and she probably was like 90 or something then, because up until she passed at 107, she was in great shape. Her body's just finally, the bones, you got 107-year-old bones, they just, at some point, the reality kicks in that it's just not going to be around. But mentally, she was 100% capacity until she passed away. She literally on her deathbed said, "I'm tired." She said that's what her words was, "I'm tired." And she closed her eyes and she left us. Not a whining and beating of the weeds. She just said, "It's time. I've fought the good fight, and I see you guys later."
Mhm.
But those kind of memories, I think when we think about this particular book, we say, why should we pick it up and take it home and read it? And right now during the holiday season, we're trying to find that unique gift for our loved ones, for our friends, because I think when we think about the book lists that are out there, is some of it is a given, love Oprah, but Oprah's list, everybody shares it, everybody buys the book, it's a given. You have other Good Morning America, they share their stories, all of those things. A lot of times it's those things that get the exposure, but it's those books that are on the shelf that a lot of us are not aware of. Those are the books that touches our lives in a different way. And they give, and you open up the package and it's like, oh my gosh, steel stained. That's interesting. For the love of the farm. I grew up on a farm. Oh my gosh, let me read it. And then begin to share these stories within the book. So I want to say right now, we're going to give you the information where you can get the book in just a minute. But when you get this book, and I know you're going to share it, I know you're going to share the stories, is I want you, and we want you to share those stories even within the book to your friends, email it to them, share it with them and say, here's the book, here you can get it, but I want to share this poem with you. I want to share this story with you. And I guarantee you, you're going to do that. You're going to do that because of how those stories are going to touch you, because these two human beings, April Lanham and Jason Partington, they've touched my life in so many different ways, in so many ways of their clients and their friends and their family. And I'm so glad to be able to share this particular book. And guess what? We're going to give a book away today. We're also going to be giving you one of their t-shirts that I love. I'll tell you, Jason, but both of you all have the shirts. Will you come back? I love this. Tell us what that says.
It says Memoirs of Moo. That is the name of the publishing company that made the book. And we now have a publishing company that people give us their copy and text and everything else, and put it together in a book format for self-publishing, so it would be accepted to the larger publisher. So it's a chain. I mean, it's a change of everything. But we sold out of our Moo shirt. We call them Moo shirts. We sold out literally the first week.
Mm.
of our shirts. So we had to start ordering more and more and more and more and more. So I think we probably made the same amount of money in books as we did with shirts or
Wow.
merchandise. So
It was great passive income, I should
Yeah.
say, not passive, but passive.
Yeah. Yeah.
It did hit that quota for the year, I should say.
but you talking about sharing the stories, one of his lifelong missions is to inspire. So he inspired me to write. He's inspiring you to share this story. And we're hoping that these stories are not, you don't read it the way it is. See, he was writing it one way and I read it a different way. So he was inspiring me to think emotionally and think of something else. But he had a whole way. I mean, the very first story we wrote was Plurabelle. Grandma had a little red cow. Her name was Plurabelle, and she would talk to her like it was a human. And I was literally just sitting here, just spitting out things that she told me, and he just put it together. He was just sitting there, just writing. I mean, I was like, I was using my marketing skills. I wasn't speaking full coherent sentences. I mean, that's the funny part. I was just blurbing it out, and then there it was. And there's this one part at the very, very end. I'm just worked up right now, but something set in stone. So there's one line. Her words came out as the writing on stone.
Wow.
He meant it as it's her word. It's the way it is. I read it as her tombstone. So I immediately cried, and guess what we did? We wrote 15, 16 more poems.
And that's why I feel like this my little thing, just taking the Plurabelle challenge is what I say, because as we wrote Plurabelle, that was the first poem we wrote. That's why it's the first one in the book. We just started writing continuously. We didn't write the whole book in one day. It took us about a month, but we had a lot of fun doing it, and we were communicating and really getting ideas down, and we were really getting them done. It was farm-like diligence, in my opinion.
It's very West Virginia hick. We use the N instead of the ing. I mean, there's some hicknish in this book, and that's why it makes it fun.
And I feel like it's something that I feel the reader can do. They read Plurabelle and see if after reading Plurabelle, if you're not going to read another poem afterwards, or maybe even try to read several after that.
Yeah, the funny thing is, Grandma had red hair, and the cow had red hair, and my hair is kind of red. It's the red thing, you know.
And I think it also speaks to when you talk about the love of the farm, but even though you say the love of the farm, it's also about you all's love story together. And I think about, as you all share even this morning, about how you all work together, you sharing your words with Jason and Jason writing it down. I think also, to me, when I hear that story, it was your journey of getting to know each other and actually falling in love with each other through this particular effort. And I think that's the other thing I want to share with our audience on why you need to pick up this book. We're going into the seasons of Thanksgiving, of sharing a Christmas holiday and what that means spiritually for us. And I tell you, love, in whatever form it is, when we think about the pandemic that we just came out of, and we think about all of the strong love stories. And when I say love stories, a lot of people think, oh, man and woman, but love stories is also about coming through trials. Love story is about the love of family, and how there might have been situations that happened in your family, or between husband and spouse, or even children, and that you all came through it. It was victorious, it was glorious. And what made it possible, and let me repeat that, what made it possible was love, the love of each other, the love of God, and just love in general. I mean, that way that love gets into a situation and heals it and binds it and uplifts it, inspires it. Oh my God. So, you know, when you talk about all the reasons why to pick up this book, pick it up for the love story, but don't have the expectations that you think it is. It's not about, oh, you know, we heard the love song going and whatever, or stars and moons. It's about something much, much deeper. It's about how love is not a surface thing. It's good, it's bad, it's ugly. It gets all of that stuff, but in the end, it inspires us. It blows up our hearts. It really strengthens us. It makes us, when I think of love and what love is, the word that comes to me and really touches my heart and what I think love is about, it's about courage. It's about courage. It's about courage to let that other person in. It's about courage of saying, being kind to people, to inspiring people, of when in the toughest times, when you and your spouse or your significant others are having issues, is to make sure that you're there for that particular person and loving them through all of the challenges. And it ties to us about that farm thing, because I don't know if you haven't grown up in a farm, you talking about love. Farm life is a tough life if you're doing it for full time. And I'm sure even in West Virginia, just like in Mississippi, farm life was tough. When I was growing up on the farm in South Mississippi, it was tough, but it was always that love of our family. We knew that our family loved us. We to be able to sit down at the table with a full course meal, get up in the morning and sit on the front porch and early in the morning. Oh my gosh, I remember even as a young girl, we had a huge porch, and we had these huge rocking chairs. And I remember as a little child getting in those rocking chairs. And when it was early morning, when we say on the farm, when the dew hit the ground, those were amazing time. And maybe it was still foggy on a fall morning. I tell you, those things you can't get in a city, okay? And the way it touches you and the way it inspires you is just amazing. So
We didn't have snow. We had snow. With the snow and the mud and the melted ice, your boots come off.
Yeah.
And you walk in the snow. So I had the snow and you did. So I had some dirty feet here and there, but your message today is working from home. The thing is, I'm trying to tie in. So we are working at his home, creating a story about my home that now is his home too. So, I mean, that's how this all comes in together. And then here's little monkey man, he's awake. So
you didn't even talk, we didn't even mention about the little one. How old is he now?
He'll be 4 in January.
This is Hugh.
Yeah, this is his
We were
cue.
planning this the whole time.
Anyway, he actually has a mentioning in Big Blue. It affected all of us, even him, because he was just standing there driving and he was just having a good old time, he's fine.
No.
And so he had a part of Big Blue too. So, I mean, he didn't know it growing up and he was a part of it, and I've got pictures and he loved it. So, I mean, like you were saying, on the farm, it's not that you had to do things. Back then, you didn't love doing it, but you knew deep down in your heart, it was for the greater good. I miss doing that stuff, age and everything, but so I mean, there's a love, and then it's home. You take care of your home, and your home's a farm. Even the animals love you. You love the animals, and they love you. So it's all a big circle.
Before we
run out of time, April, I gotta get you to tell people how can they get the book. Tell us how we can purchase that book.
Okay, so our website is memoirsofmoowv.com. We have our press release, photos of me on the farm feeding my sheep and on the truck. We used a little hick. So we have a story called Memoirs of You. It's about my sheep and EWE. So I mean, there's a lot of funny little quirky stuff. And if you know me, I'm quirky.
Mouser.
Yeah. So our biggest star of the book is Grandma's cat. He's a tuxedo cat. He's probably about 18, 19, going on 20.
Wow.
He's the star. There's a 2-page story about him. And what do you call that you're doing? You want to, and that word you used. You want to make sure everybody knows about Big Boy. What's that word you used? Ingrained or deaded, or I don't know. Immortalized.
Okay.
So this cat will live on forever. And
he's been immortalized into this book. And it was a suggestion I had because I fell in love with this cat. And I explained a little in detail of what I witnessed personally. It was kind of horrific in a way, but I wanted to show that this cat is a lethal weapon, but is also a gentle house cat. He is literally a four-legged power ballad.
Wow. Now,
Yeah,
what about shirts? Can we get the shirts on that site too?
yeah, we are sold out of the stain shirt. This is called dirt stain, but
Mhm.
those sold out literally through us and through the company. But yeah, you can order shirts. We have an order form. You can order the book, the shirts. We're thinking about merchandising. We got some mugs. Oh, for the wedding, I asked if the men could wear moose socks. He goes, I got a better yet. He goes, let's put a logo on the moose socks. So we will have moose socks with their logo on it, Memoirs of
Oh,
Moo.
He said
wow.
cow print.
Cow
She
print.
said cow print. I said no. They're gonna wear moose
Moose
socks, and they're gonna
You
be
all
in the
gotta
moose
have
pool.
those ready for the holidays. You're talking about a wonderful gift. When can we expect to have those in play? I know the wedding is not to next year, but do you plan to get those socks out as soon as possible?
It'd be nice to have them for Christmas. I don't know how it's gonna take off, but the mugs are cute. We gave away the pins for the pre-sale, so we sold out the pins too, but we can make some of those. But we're currently working with the publishers, so a lot of the money that we have is going to that portion, and we're still in the early stages. Oh, so one of the biggest things in West Virginia, we have this little artisan center called the Tamarack. Grandma would probably roll over in her grave knowing that our book was accepted. So we submitted a book and they are reading it right now. It takes a good 6 months, but that is one way to immortalize the book in the state. It's like the Craftsman Guild in Mississippi. It's the tourist place to go for all art in West Virginia. And I took them there one day and it was endless. There's
Wow.
like woodworking and mugs and fruits, jams, jellies, wines. We've got a couple wines. We got pomegranate wine.
Furniture, nice coffee tables made straight from logs.
Yeah, so we're waiting for that right there to put another feather in our cap with this book. But we do have some other ideas for a couple more editions. What was it? Still Staying Part. Oh yeah. So the next one we're
Part
gonna do
Moo.
Part Moo, Still Staying Part Moo. And we have a third one in mind, Still Staying an Utter Edition. So we have a few more ideas. We're hoping to make it a series and that'll be fun. And then right now I'm helping him paginate a collection of his greatest hits. 200 pages is going to be.
As well as new stuff
New
from this
stuff,
year.
old stuff.
Yeah.
Ever since he's writing his best stuff, and it's wonderful. The thing is, I'm reading a lot of things I haven't read before, and it's like, is that me? Is that not me? So I have to look at the dates sometimes.
April, we got to give people your contact information if they're looking for a digital marketer, they have a marketing person that they need. We want to share how they can contact you. And also, if somebody also has a story in a book, you and Jason are offering also that you can help people pull their memoir together or their book together. I think our story today is a great testimony of the work that you all do. And I just want to give you a pat on the back again. I mean, your quality of services and your ideas. I tell you what I love about 90 Marketing and you, April, is that I have a busy life and many CEOs have a busy life, and many, especially entrepreneurial companies or even small businesses, even large businesses, we have so much on our plate and we don't have time to try to come up with what we want. We know in our heads what we want to happen. But what I love about you and your work, people just email you and say, this is what I need. Here's the information, here's the content, make it happen. And you do it every time. And what I love about you, we don't have to go back and forth on revisions. Oh my God, usually you hit it most of the time 100%. If we have to tweak it a little bit, it's very, very little tweak. And so I think that if I want to share with people who are listening in today, if you're looking for a company that provides digital marketing and understands your vision and your mission of what you want to get accomplished, that you should definitely contact 90 Marketing. So tell folks how to contact you and how to connect with you on the amazing packages that you have available, and also the amazing opportunities to help power their business.
I prefer Facebook because I can verify. I sometimes get Google requests and you just can't verify. So you can look up my name or 90 Marketing, 90 Marketing on Facebook, or you can email me. It's april@90marketing.com. You can definitely call me. I have a West Virginia phone number because I had to move back and it have self-service with my Mississippi number. It's 304-677-6545. I can definitely send you, I have an intake form. Some people don't know what they want. So I literally list everything, every possibility. And the problem is people don't know how much they want to spend. Well, I'll give you the option of the budget. But when you're speaking about me, Willie, I speak about you too. So I have a joke with a few people that we are
They're
associated.
buddies. They're buddies. I mean, yeah, they're the client and business, yes, but they communicate.
We
every
used to
day.
powwow around
They
together
work
with
together.
you.
They help
Yes,
each other
at
out. They take
chamber
care of each
luncheon.
other.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not one day go by where I don't hear about Willie. And
Who's
when
that,
I finally
Willie?
get to meet you personally.
So when I'm talking to like Yolanda or Tanya, they
Yeah.
give me something and then we just joke about you. I say, well, let me finish Willie's stuff first because they're like, oh, Willie. I was like, yeah, Willie.
Yeah.
I was like, Willie and her ways. I mean, that's the joke, Willie's ways or Willie time. But yeah, you were always on my mind too, and it's funny. I joke with Tanya and Yolanda a lot with it. Well, I'm
Yeah.
sorry I don't have Willie ways, but this is what I was like. You don't want Willie ways, trust me, because it can be like your dates, the timing.
At 2 a.m. in the morning, getting email and text from me.
If I'm up and Charlie's asleep or he's doing something, I can do it. I do it. I get it done.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I was like, when you get it, you got to do it. And that's how the cows get out,
Yeah.
So I have a list of things. When I get it done because I also, working from home, you don't want to miss anything. You want to be a part of everything. You want to be part of a relationship and your son and growing up. And it's just the atmosphere. You just want to enjoy it. And that's the best thing about being a business owner and not going into a 9 to 5 and driving. He has to go through construction every day. I mean, he has to go through security and guards and walk 10 miles. I mean, it's just crazy. So I enjoy what I do because you don't know what you'll be doing. So one minute I might get a phone call for a flyer. The next minute I might get a phone call for a campaign or an idea. Like, hey, I have an idea. Can you help me? You just never know.
You just gotta love what you do. Again, with the love thing, it's like, love is moving, love is doing.
And actually, that's what I like to wrap up our conversation today, April. If you give, a lot of women are working from home these days and men, but specifically women that are working from home. I try to do it every time. I'm here this morning and I tell you, I have not figured out how to make it work. Now I just said, I got to beat it in the bush and get it home, get to the office because I cannot stay focused here at home because there's too many distractions. So
routine.
There you go. That one tip that you would share with women on making working from home work, what would it be?
Knowing you have to do it and get it done. Women, we always get it done. Doesn't matter what it is, we get it done. It doesn't matter how many monkeys you have on your back, you still get it done. And I mean, I can literally tell you a story when I first started working from home and I had Charlie, I was doing Zoom meetings and he was feeding and nobody knew. So, I mean, that's the power of the women mentality. You just get it done.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Just if you need help, I don't ask for help much, but when you need help, ask,
Well, thank you all so much. And I want to repeat that again, because I'm going to take that phrase that we've been talking about. If you don't get a gun, you know that the cows will get out. Oh my goodness. I love that. Believe me, I'm stealing that and I'm going to share it over and over again, especially with my Women's for Progress group. I love that idea that if you don't get it done, you know that the cows are going to get out. And I think that's a great wrap up.
Or sometimes you have to butter your own biscuits.
I love that. I love that. So the book again is Still Staying for the Love of the Farm, and give us the website we can get, or the Facebook page where we can purchase the book again.
memoirsofmoowv.com. I'll put a little tag in the bottom of the actual airing.
WV for West Virginia.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll share that with you all and make sure that you get it. And also let me say to you, those of you who are listening, I know it's a recorded program and you're listening to it, but put your name in the comments or your messenger name or however you all do it, or inbox us on Facebook and give your name. And we're going to, by close of business today, we will award a copy of that book that you will get today. And we're also going to be giving away a t-shirt, and I still haven't got my t-shirt yet, but I'm gonna be patient. And so we want to share that with you also. And so that you can get the book, you can read it, you can share it with your friends. And right now we're thinking about what little gifts that we need to give to our family and friends and those we love, those unique,
Homemade.
yeah, who has everything, and but they don't have stain. They don't have stain for the love of the farm and those experiences. So they will make great gifts either for Thanksgiving, birthdays, holidays, definitely.
Speaking
And
of
what a
homemade,
beautiful cover. Give us the hold up the book again,
Oh.
April, because the cover and the
Yes.
alone,
Yeah.
that is a
Well,
wonderful,
Here's the
wonderful.
black and white version, and we didn't want to make it mediocre. So he said, hey, why don't you do sketches? And I did sketches.
Wow,
This
because
is-
I
wow.
knew she was good at doing sketches, and I knew she wanted to get back into that. So
Mhm.
it has a nice charm to it. I think it's 100% unique. Each picture was done by her.
And
I
there's more
feel.
pictures on the back, and then our Facebook and Instagram, Memoirs of Moo WV. Yeah, so we raise sheep, cows. I had a little dog named Laddie, and there's a story about him growing up. The truck. I mean, it's just everything. I mean, the thing is, I started growing sunflowers to make some extra money after grandma died, and I started taking pictures. And I learned the love of sunflowers I've had for many, many years. I've learned recently that it's in my blood too. My great grandmother used to raise sunflowers. I had
Wow.
no idea until it. The thing is, you don't know what you have until you do it.
Right.
That's another thing that you could probably, or keep in your mind. You don't know what you have until you do it. Say it. Don't be scared.
Yeah.
We back here was don't be scared. So
Mhm.
don't be scared. Don't be
And I
scared.
want to say too, when we talk about pick up the book, because you don't know what is still stained in your heart and in your
Mhm.
mind. This book will help inspire that and get that out. So pick up a copy of the book, pick up a t-shirt, share it with your friends, and we'll continue to share you throughout and remind you of picking up this particular book. Well, today we've been talking to Miss April Lanham, the most amazing person and one of my dearest, dearest friends and associates. And also Jason Partington, her fiance, and now my new friend, Jason. And thank you all so much for sharing. This has just been wonderful. Having this has been like a conversation on the forum, right?
It's just surreal. It's uplifting. It's very
Yeah.
uplifting, very refreshing.
I mean, if you want to come to a farm wedding and you're out this way, next October.
Definitely
Yeah.
something worth waking up to.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing
Yeah.
else, I mean,
I'm definitely booking my flight now because I just need an excuse to get to West Virginia and to
I'm
the
gonna
East
try to
Coast.
cook a hog. I have the farmhand has a little thing that cooks hogs, but we'll have hay bales, of course, and sunflowers. But
And you sent me copies of the trees and the beautiful colors.
it's on
fall.
the
Yeah.
I was taking pictures, and October is the best time, and we're having the wedding around the best time because we have the barn lot, and behind it we have hickory trees that we
Yeah.
call the thicket, and the trees are the leaves are orange and red. But the thing is, that time of day, the sun comes down, and it looks like it's on fire. It's beautiful.
Right.
So
Right.
reminds me of barbecue.
barbecue. He's a barbecue guy. But we're
Right.
thinking about turning the farm into an actual wedding destination. I have two homes. I could have a bride home, a groom's home, an event place. So we were talking about that, and he goes, well, let's test it out. Let's get married.
Yeah.
Okay.
And turn the barn into Airbnb where
I want to keep it the way it is, but we have
Okay.
two farmhouses. We have a farmhouse that actually came from a coal mining area about 20 minutes down the road in 1933. They moved the house. It was an old Sears and Roebuck house. It was an old house.
Wow.
And when my grandparents were dating, Grandpa built Grandma's house. They weren't married yet. He goes, I'll build you a house. And he
Wow.
built her a house. And we have two houses there, and I'll have two houses now. But I'm waiting for everything to get done and settled with the estate before we go in there and do everything.
Yeah,
So
but you're right, a destination wedding, they get married there on the grounds and they stay right there in the farmhouse. That would be amazing, definitely.
yeah,
for sure.
that's the idea. Grandma might not like it, but she might like us sharing it. She was a very homebody, and she didn't like strangers, but there's been a lot of strangers there.
Yeah.
She don't know. I'm pretty sure she's happy, but she's happy about the book. I guarantee it.
She's got to be, definitely, for sure. Well, thank you all so much. And I want you all to have a wonderful day and rest of your week. And thank you again for sharing. We're going to continue to share this story out, not only today as a replay to the noon show, but also we'll continue to share this link for this conversation throughout our database so that people can not only hear this story in our conversation, but also make sure that they get tied into the book. Thank you.
One little thing I need to add. He has a website, JDP Poetry. We
Okay.
offer a poem of the month, so you can sign up for that as well. We'll leave that link on there too.
Yeah,
And he can
please
write
send
for
that
you as
to me.
well.
Yeah, send that to me so I can share it out on our Facebook page and our other social media. Thank you so much, April, and have a great, great day.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Willie. Bye.
Bye.
Here, monkey.